Hi there, this is AGNR 131, Lab Exercise 4, Part 2, Effects of Salinity on Plant Growth. So I've got Belinda here, who's been actually doing all the work with Luis to really do all the background stuff, get the labs ready and everything. I just get to be the face in front of it, but these are the folks that are really doing it. Luis is actually videoing right now. But what we're going to do is Belinda's already done most of them, but we're going to show you exactly what we did, and then we'll show you the finished product there. So just to remind you what's happening on this one, we have Hoagland's solution, which is a complete nutrient solution for plants when we grow them hydroponically. And remember, growing them hydroponically is growing them without soil. It's a soil, it's just a liquid solution. And we supply, you'll see this in a second, but we supply air to the plants through an air pump so that they can actually grow and they don't just get bogged down, use up all the air in the water. So we have actually got Hoagland's solution over here. You can see some of these carboys that we've got here. We've already made up our solution. And the Hoagland's solution by itself, with nothing added to it, as I said, is a complete plant nutrition, if you will. And that is what we're calling our control. And then we have a low and a medium and a high salinity, and that's all going to be in your lab exercise handout. So you can see what we did there. You can see what the different ratios of the chemicals are, etc. in that one. But so what we've done is we've taken the control, the low salinity. I got to say that word slower. The low salinity, the medium salinity, and the high salinity. And we're putting 5 different kinds of plants in each one of those. So for instance, let me just take the control, and that's what Belinda's going to finish off here. If I just take the control, we've got garden beans, radishes, squash, kale, and beets. Those are our 5 different plants, and we're going to put those in each one of our treatments. So the control will have those, the medium, the low, and the high salinity will also have each one of those plants. So we grew these plants for a while, and that's why this experiment this year actually took a little bit longer, and it kind of went out of order because for some reason even though we started early, we didn't start early enough. So they weren't really big enough for us to transplant, and that's what we're going to do right now. So as I said, Belinda's done most of these already, and they're already bubbling away, and you'll see that. But what she's going to show you, she's going to demonstrate what actually happens once we grow the plants and we get them up to a good enough height that we can actually take them out of the soil that they were growing in and then transfer them over into the hydroponics. I thought you would be interested to see how that process works. So Belinda's got the, what do you have there, Belinda?
We have a squash summer. We have to remove it from the soil, trying to clean completely the roots of 3 plants.
So while she does that one, I'll show you what she's getting ready. We've got these foam discs, and we're actually doing our hydroponics in these beakers right here. So these foam discs, we've cut them in the past to fit these beakers just precisely. So what we're going to do is we made a slit in it like that, and this is where the plants are going to go. Belinda will show you that obviously in a second, but this is an air stone. So we needed this air stone to provide all the bubbles, and we realized that we got to have the air stone go through this like this, and then we had to have another opening here because it's foam and because it makes not a really strong seal, but it makes a seal that's strong enough, we would end up getting a lot of pressure underneath there, and these things would float out. It'd be pressure of the plants, it wasn't a tight seal, and they would float out. So we found if we put another hole in this, there's another hole right through there, see that? There's another hole. I'm not going to put anything in it. We could put a glass tube in it, but we realized that if we just did that and we put this in, the extra air would be able to come out through that, and we wouldn't really get a whole lot of floating effect of this, like an island effect of this raft of plants in this disc going up and down. So that's what we're doing. That's what this is for, and we'll hook those up. But right now, Belinda's gonna show you what she's done. You can see that she's getting the roots cleaned off.
So after you remove almost completely the soil, you have to wash a little bit the root, that way it's almost clean. It's not going to be too much, but a little bit, see?
Yeah, we just want most of it off.
Gentle. And then we have, as Professor Peter explained, we have to make a little, how you call it?
A slit.
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 And then put the 3 plants together like this. And then after that one, try to put one of these one in one of the holes.
And just to make it easy, I'll go ahead and hold this for you while you do the next part.
And then fill the beaker until 250 or 300 ml.
And it's not really critical the amount. We want to make sure that it's adequate. And we're gonna maintain these and watch these every couple of days, and we'll fill them back up with the appropriate treatment if they evaporate or the plant, the plant uses the liquid and transpires it. We'll make sure that they're filled up. But it really doesn't matter that they have the exact same amount. What matters is that they don't dry out, that they have enough liquid to be able to grow in an optimum fashion. So it's pretty much just as simple as this. We go ahead and put these things down. They can be a little sideways. They're not going to really care. Stick those guys down like that, and I can move this out of the way so you get a better look for it. And there we go. So we'll go ahead and connect this end to the air hose line that we have in there, and this guy will be ready to go. So you can see the roots are at the bottom. They don't mind that at all. So long as we supply them with some water, they'll be super happy. So again, remember, this is an experiment based on salinity levels. So there's no soil in this one at all. So the soil has no bearing on it. This just is a measure of what happens when we give the plant everything it needs, but then we add salt, which could be detrimental to it. How will the plant behave, and what level of salinity is bad? And will the 5 different plant species that we're using, will there be a difference between those 5 species and the varying levels of salinity that we're doing? So that's what we're going to do. We'll put a quick pause through here. We'll get the other ones ready to go, and then we'll show you the final setup. Okay, so here you can see our little hydroponic setup. These are the 2 that we just did right through here, the 2 controls. And you can see them, they're all hooked up to the pump, to the air lines. You can see that the air stones are all busy bubbling away, providing air in there. And you can see in a couple of them that we're still going to have a little bit of this blowing out the top, and that's okay. You can see that some of them are floating. Most of them are doing pretty well, but even if they do float, it really doesn't matter, because we're just going to make sure that if they start getting low on the solution, then we'll just go ahead and fill it back up again. So they'll never be lacking on that. So that's kind of what the setup looks like. This is a nice little deal. We've got lights up here which you can't see, but the lights are grow lights. And so the wavelength for these plants is just like sunlight. It's perfect for them. So we can actually, we'll leave these on 24 hours a day, and they'll just grow. They'll get all the light that they need. So the only limiting factor here for these plants should be the level of salinity and how well they're able to tolerate that. So we'll come back in a week or so and have a look and see. I'm not sure if I'll run this for a week or maybe 2 weeks, but at least a week, and we'll come back and see what these look like. So they're all beautifully labeled. So when we have some things to actually compare, we'll focus in on the individual plant species or different varieties, I guess, of vegetables that we've got here, and see how they're actually behaving. So that'll be in an upcoming video. So that's it for now.